My God, I hate drugs.
Or extend. The Justice Department is now evaluating whether it will keep alleged pork barrel scam mastermind Janet Lim Napoles under the Witness Protection Program. The provisional government protection is due to expire tomorrow. That's after roughly 3 months. The Justice Department is working with Napoles in its pork barrel scam investigation. The agency is specifically looking into the involvement of allies of the Aquino administration. Napoles is facing multiple plunder and graft charges at the Sandigan Bayan for allegedly working with lawmakers in diverting pork funds to her bogus non-government organizations. We're still trying to reach Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara. Will give you a statement as soon as it is available.
From the top stories here in the country to headlines across the globe, the summit between the United States and North Korea is not happening. The White House on Thursday released a letter President Donald Trump sent to Kim Jong-un calling off the summit. It had been scheduled in Singapore June 12th. In the letter, Trump based the decision on Kim's, quote, tremendous anger and open hostility displayed in your most recent statement, unquote. South Korea's Blue House released a statement saying the cancellation is unfortunate and regrettable. The meeting would have been the first face-to-face meeting between a U.S. and North Korean leader. And a team of investigators led by Netherlands says a missile launcher that belonged to Russia's 53rd Anti-Aircraft Brigade was used to shoot down flight MH17 in Ukraine back in 2014. The JIT, or Joint Investigation Team, announced Thursday that the launcher used in the attack was transported from the territory of the Russian Federation and was returned to Russia after. A total of 298 people from 17 countries died when the flight from Amsterdam to Kuala Lumpur was brought down in eastern Ukraine in July 2014.
Welcome back to New Day. President Rodrigo Duterte says Communist Party of the Philippines founder Jose Maria Sison has agreed to come home. In a speech in Davao City Thursday, the president says he is willing to personally escort Sison when the communist leader returns home. But the president also left a threat to Sison.
I have invited Sison to come home. He has agreed. I gave him a window of 2 months, very small, make or break tayo dito. Kaya sinabot maayo dili, I will see to it. And I will personally maybe escort him to the airport pag walang nangyari sa 2 months. I will allow him to go out. I will not arrest him because word of honor yan. But sabihin ko talaga sa kanya, huwag ka nang bumalik dito. Papatayin talaga dito. Pag walang mangyari, sabihin ko talaga sa kanya, do not ever return again to this country. I will kill you. You have killed so much of my soldiers and policemen. Dapat lang.
Now happening today, a Senate panel will carry out a public hearing on the tax reform or train law. The Senate Committee on Public Services and Utilities is expected to tackle the effects of the new tax measure. Senator Grace Poe will preside over the hearing happening at the new Iloilo Provincial Capitol building. And a big step forward for the country's labor sector. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello will submit today to Malacanang a list of employers in the country that do not regularize their workers. It will also include those that do not observe general labor standards, as well as those that continue to engage in illegal contractualization practices.
And summer is in full swing, and what better way to get through the scorching days ahead? Well, of course, with a drink in hand.
That's right, Christine. Well, joining us today is Enzo Lim, master bartender who also owns 2 Filipino restaurants in New York City in the U.S. Good morning, Enzo, and welcome to New Day on CNN Philippines, bro.
Good morning.
Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, as mentioned a while ago by Christine, you own 2, I mentioned
yes,
you own 2 restaurants in New York. They're called Maharlika and Jeepney. I've actually been to Jeepney.
Yes.
I have been to Jeepney. Yeah, in New York. Tell us more.
Okay, so Jeepney, as you might have recalled, I mean, it's sort of like the younger brother. So obviously Maharlika came first. It's the more kind of strict sister who basically, with her, what we tried to do was take Filipino cuisine and make it sort of relatable to people from the West. And I think we did a pretty good job. So for Jeepney, what we did was try to do something from the opposite end. So we took foreign dishes and we made it Pinoy.
Pinoy, yeah. And because there are a lot of people, of course, in New York, a lot of Filipinos who miss Filipino food.
Oh, yeah.
So they go there, they go and eat at those restaurants.
But also more importantly, Filipino food has taken its place now in the market, and a lot of people are actually talking about it and, you know, willing to try more than our classic adobo or the lumpias. And of course, Enzo, you have an inspiring story. I hope they don't miss you because you've been here already for, what, over a year or so?
Over a year this
And looks like you're not going to go back soon.
We shall see.
But then now, you know, summer, of course, we have the drinks and it's always nice. Isn't it so refreshing? And you, of course, are here to show us some drinks.
Because
some
gin is in.
Gin, you know, it is true.
It is.
It
Gin
the
is in.
I think it's
new
always been in.
No, but it's true though. There is a wave now where a lot of people are going to gin for the drink of choice.
That's true. Well, today we have a few cocktails here.
What's the first one? Yeah, go ahead.
First one, I guess we start for over here. This one we call the Samal Beach Cooler, right? So for that, we're using actually what we call the red, right? So GSM red. It's got pomelo juice, so Samal is in that, right? So some lemon juice to give it a little more acidity, a little kick, and then of course, just to top it off, we finish it with a little bit of orange liqueur. So you can use whatever you like for that one. A triple sec works.
It's like I can already taste it.
Yeah, it's definitely summer.
So pomelo, lemon juice, and a little
So
orange.
just think of the bright citrus fruits.
Yeah.
You know, you got a little pink, a little orange, a little yellow.
Is that called the Pinoy parasol?
That's what's next, actually.
Oh, that's what's
Okay.
So you
okay.
see this thing's got like a little umbrella here, right?
Yeah.
You know, parasol. I like that word because it basically it's right there, parasol. So it's for the sun. So if you need protection from the sun, this can cool you down. So the Pinoy
What is it?
parasol.
What is it?
For this one, we're using GSM Premium, right? So this one's actually got guyabano. You guys still remember that?
Of course.
So sour sop, guyabano, mango, and then of course, you know, with the GSM Premium, and then that's finished off with a little of I'm blacking.
Lemongrass, pandan,
Yeah.
concentrate?
Right.
Yeah,
So
okay.
basically, all these different herbal flavors, just for the Filipino pot, right?
Okay.
Then lastly, this one's great for breakfast time. I mean,
Breakfast
yes, I think it's about breakfast time. Everybody needs their coffee, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like a latte.
Yeah.
This one we actually use barako. You just use take a sachet and just take 1.5 teaspoons of that. Heavy cream,
Okay.
just like a dessert also.
Yes.
So you can do it after dinner. You
Behave.
try.
I get
see you.
it.
A little milk, and then we use GSM Blue for this one. In fact, you could also use probably the GSM
What are the
Blue
differences?
brown coffee.
Yes.
What are the
Jay.
differences between the three different gins? Is it the age? I mean, like in whiskey, you have the red, the black, and whatever. Is it the years?
Well, with gin, typically it's not about aging. I think it's more about what you infuse it with. So this one is definitely more juniper heavy. This one's actually lighter in alcohol percentage, so it's a little more geared, I think, for the younger crowd. And then you have flavors also.
You
flavors.
mentioned the younger crowd. Yes,
Yes,
we
that's
are
us.
it
That's
right
right.
here. And thank you so much for sharing all these
Thank you guys for having
wonderful drinks that we can enjoy now in the summer. And we hope to have you back again here soon. And hopefully
soon.
at a restaurant that you
you,
plan to
Enzo.
open.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you.
Cheers,
Thank
Enzo.
you.
There you go.
Cheers.
Christine.
And yes, of course, we will never run out of time. But don't you worry, you can catch more of our gin stories and mixes on June 7th as we celebrate World Gin Day. Why not? Thank you so much, Enzo, for being with us. And I'm sure summer will, of course, be a little more bearable with all these drink ideas.
Saying that, in fact, only less than 1% has been or it only costs less than 1% increase.
Hold yourself. Hold yourself.
So James, later on,
hold
you should
yourself,
wait
hold
for that
yourself.
report.
No, but yeah, it's always a trickle down, a domino effect from one thing, and it will just keep
But if
going.
there's anything more frustrating than the rising prices, it's being told that you're not, it's not real.
not.
It's like, no, I know what I'm feeling, I know what I'm seeing, I'm in pain, and they're saying, no, you shouldn't feel like this because it's the impact that people are judging on. And I know I put this out on Facebook, and I happened to be traveling at the time. So, you know, when you're traveling, you can't monitor your post exact. So I posted these prices in Baguio, and woo, did the conversation escalate quicker than the gas prices?
For sure, yeah.
It blew up because the argument about train law, of course, that people were saying it's got nothing to do with train law, but people were saying, but they're adding on to an already rising a necessity. So people are very sensitive. They don't call it the F word for nothing. Fuel. I'm talking fuel. Yes.
But you know, a lot of people, well, moving on, guys, you know, the historic and, of course, the first face-to-face meeting between North Korea and Donald Trump, well, you know, it's not going to happen. Well, so far, as of today, it's not going to happen as planned in Singapore on June 12th.
So U.S. President Donald Trump cancels the summit with Kim Jong-un.
Sent a letter over.
Oh, not just a tweet?
No, actually sent a letter.
Very formal.
And what's surprising is that the North Korea actually took steps to start their denuclearization program, and we're gonna find out how this will. Yes, it blew up three of their sites, and we'll find out.
CNN had a crew there, so I'm not sure. I think we might show it later.
One of our local.
No, not us. CNN International.
Yeah.
In the world of sports, well, later on Sports Desk, I'll be having Chris